Hello, I'm Russ Foth. I'm the service manager for Whitton Plumbing. And today I have a great tip of the day for you, and it involves your water heater. Everybody has a water heater in the home, and it's either electric or gas. And that water heater runs constantly. It's one of the highest use pieces of equipment in your home. So it really needs to be maintained and serviced. And I've got a tip here that I believe you, the homeowners, can do yourself and save yourself some money, not only in the efficiency of your water heater, but it may just keep a plumber out of your home. With a water heater, every drop of water that comes into your home and that goes into your water heater has minerals in it. And they would be iron, zinc, copper, there's magnesium, and yes, there's lead. And most municipalities treat the water with chlorine, and that's to disinfect it so it has a level that is acceptable to federal regulations. So what I'm going to show you today is how to flush your water heater, and really this should be done 3 to 4 times a year. So if you look at doing this quarterly, every 3 months, it really will benefit you as homeowners and keep your water heater efficient, which in turn will make that heater last much longer. What we have is a water heater sitting here. This is your cold inlet that goes into the water heater. That cold inlet goes down to the bottom of the heater, inside. When that water hits the inside of your heater, it makes the thermostat say, hey, I have some cold water heater, I need some cold water in the heater, I need to come on and heat that water up. Same would hold true with an electric water heater. The elements come on and heat that water. So with those minerals that are in the water, they attach themselves to the inside of the tank. Most water heater tanks are glass lined, or they have a baked enamel inside of them. That's to make the metal last longer. But they all have lesions in them, and that's where these minerals start attacking your water heater, and it will fail. So what we want to do is flush your water heater. You are able to leave the water on. You do not have to shut that off. You do not have to shut the electric off at the panel to the water heater, or if it's a gas, you don't have to shut your gas off. What you're doing is you're going to come down here to the bottom of the heater, and this is called a water heater drain valve. Every water heater has one. They're either made out of brass or plastic. You can go grab your typical household garden hose, and I've got one here. This is a male thread that accepts a female hose, and you can just go ahead and tighten that on that drain valve. And they're usually very easy. You don't have to bury this. You can just hand tighten it right about there. Now on this valve, there you can take a screwdriver and put that into that slot and turn that on. What that's going to do is the pressure of that cold water coming in is going to force it out through that drain valve, and on the bottom of the heater is where all the sediment lies, and that is where you lose your efficiency. So what we want to do is try to flush those particles out. On the other end of the hose, I've got a little trick here for you. If your water heater is inside your home, you can run the end of this hose to a floor drain. If it's in the garage, you can run this directly right outside onto your driveway or in to a bush. But here's what you should do. Grab an old nylon or a stocking, and I've got a little blue booty here, and just wrap it around the end of the hose like that. Everybody has these little ties laying around the house. Just kind of secure that so when you turn the water, it doesn't blow that off. You lay that down, and what will happen it will catch all of those particles that are in the bottom of the heater. You're going to be surprised what's in that stocking when you're done with this. So you go ahead and you just turn this valve on. You don't have to open it up all the way. And now the water is running through your garden hose into that little stocking, that blue stocking there. My recommendation, just let it run 5 minutes. And that's enough to flush that heater out. When you're done with that part of the little project here, just go ahead and close that valve off. Just like the way you found it. Now it's secured the water from running out of the tank. Go ahead and take your garden hose off. And you can go outside and look at the end of it and you'll see all kinds of white lime and mineral deposits. You've just flushed those out of the heater. What you might find with a lot of these valves, be it the brass or the plastic, that they don't shut completely off. They're not a valve that you want to turn on and off all the time, and they're not made for that. So rather than to have this little valve drip or to have to call the plumber out, before you start this project, go down to your local hardware store and pick up these little plastic hose caps. They're about 50, 60, 80 cents. They have a little rubber inside, and if the end of that valve is leaking, just hand tighten that on there and it'll stop the leak. That valve doesn't know if it's open or closed, and you've saved yourself a service call. So now that you've flushed your water heater, you can go ahead and use it as normal. You will notice that if it's a gas heater, it's running because you've got rid of some of the water and it's heating that cold water up. The same with the electric. Another point I'd like to make to you quickly is inside every water heater, this is called an anoid rod. And the purposes of this rod, it goes down from the top of the heater, it goes inside the heater. What this rod is there for is the factory puts these in every water heater. This is made of magnesium. And the water and all of the minerals attack this rod first before it attacks the metal in your tank. That's the specific purpose of the rod, that it will be eaten up. And all of these, this rod, sometimes we've pulled them out of water heaters and they're completely gone. All of those little particles are at the bottom of your heater, or they've managed to make it through into your plumbing system, and you'll notice on some of your faucets they don't have the full flow they used to. Well, that little aerator underneath your faucet probably has particles of this rod and all the minerals that were in the bottom of your tank. So if you do those few things, flush this every quarter of the year, every 3 months. That's something you can do yourself. It'll keep it efficient. And if it is something that you're just a little scared of doing, please call a plumbing professional. Be glad to come out and take care of these issues. And we can generally look at the rest of your heater to make sure it's operating. Thank you and hope you enjoyed the tip.